Hey, what's going on? My name is Robbie Cornelius, and over a decade ago, I stopped working for someone and I never looked back. And I've been earning income on the internet ever since. And I'm just gonna give you some tips on what you can do to do the same thing. So whether you're in corporate and you can't stand corporate and you want to do your own thing on the internet, or whether you are someone that has a part-time job, or whether you're someone that's in school and you want to start, an online business, I'm just going to freestyle and just give you my perspective as somebody that's earned so much income over the last decade using the power of the internet. I'm just going to give you some tips, and then I'm going to go ahead and warn you, I do have my Lion's Mane tea right here, and I'm going to be drinking it during this video. So I'm just going to keep it all the way authentic and just let you know what you can expect. So one of the things that I come across a lot is people that are trapped in corporate and they want to do an online business for whatever reason. And they see everybody else being successful online, but they are afraid of taking that leap themselves. They don't know what to do. And a lot of times they get their opinions from other people. They'll ask somebody that doesn't have an online business, what do they think about their online business? And I hear it time and time again as somebody that now coaches a lot of entrepreneurs, and as someone that has a TikTok following over 260,000 people, I hear it all the time. Robbie, I want to start an online business, but my husband doesn't think it'll work. Robbie, I want to start an online business, but my wife doesn't think it'll work. Robbie, I want to start an online business, but I asked my friend and they don't think it'll work. So there's a disconnect between a lot of people that are like trapped in the physical world. They hear stories about people making money online, but to them, it's still like a pipe dream. They don't think that it's reality. These are 3D people. They're just like physical labor, go to a physical job, get a physical check. They're just physical. So when you're talking about starting an online business, it doesn't seem real to them because they don't really know anybody personally that has an online business that's successful. And so, not to mention, you add the topic that you want to start a business around, they might not even be interested in the topic that you're interested in. And so that's going to be more, that's going to be more evidence to them that you don't need to start the online business because they might not be, educated on what you're educated on. So here's a tip for you. You'll never convince someone who hasn't seen something to see things your way. They don't have any evidence that it actually works. They're still probably of the mindset that everything on the internet is a scam and that people are lying about their income online. That's what most people believe that are trapped in the 3D world. So you're gonna have a hard time convincing those people that this new idea that you have is gonna work. So here's a tip for you. Don't waste your time trying to convince those people. I think a lot of times when we try to go get advice from other people, we're really hoping that other person is going to convince us of our own idea. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for validation. So the number one thing is, if you have to ask someone what they think about it, you're probably not going to be successful with your online business. I hate to tell you, because you're not convicted. When you are convicted of what you want to do, when you're convicted of your purpose, then you don't have to ask anybody what they think. You just go about your life living that life. You go about your life doing what you know you need to do. And so you don't really need to ask anybody. I don't ever ask anybody what they think about my business idea. I just do it. And I've always been like that. So that's rule number one. Don't ask people that don't have the results that you want what they think about this new idea you want. For instance, if you want to start an online business, go find someone that has a successful online business and ask that person. Why are you asking the person that doesn't have an online business? Think about that. That's crazy. That's like asking, a person that is out of shape to give you tips on getting in shape. Like, they don't have any. If they had some that worked, they'd be in shape themselves. So go find a successful person that has an online business and seek advice from that person if you're going to get any advice. But in my opinion, if you are really convinced that you need to do this thing, you're not going to ask too many people for their advice anyway. The second tip that I have for you, and this is in no particular order, is before you quit your job, you need to see if this thing is going to work. You need to see if you can sell the product or service that you have before you quit your job. Now, I'm all for quitting jobs. You know, I walked out. I'm just built like that, though. I'm built. I have gonads that are made up of metal, so I am built to take risk like that. When I got ready to chase my dreams, I just quit my job. I didn't have a backup plan. That's what I believe, but I know a lot of you guys aren't built like that today. You guys are softer today. You're not willing to take those risks. You're not willing to go without food. You're not willing to sleep on the floor. So I understand that. So I'm going to say to you, see if you can sell your product or service before you file an LLC, before you quit your job, and before you invest a whole lot of money into it. If you can't sell it before you do those three things, then the thing probably sucks. And that's something that you probably don't want to hear. But if you can't sell it to one person, you won't be able to sell it to 1 million people. The next tip I have for you is ask yourself, how does this product or service help people in the real world, in the physical world? The people in the physical world are going to be some of your best customers if you're trying to start an online business, because the people that are in the physical world primarily don't know too much about the online space. All they know is shopping online or consuming content online. They don't know anything else. All they know is go to work, clock in, clock out. They don't know the digital world. So see if you can sell your digital products or services to someone that's in the physical world, because those people are primarily consumers of online content, of online products, and of online services. So see if you can sell a couple of products and services to them before you invest a lot of time, energy, and money into this new business idea that you have. If you find that people are willing to buy what you have to offer, and you got to be willing to put it in front of people, of course, which is probably the tip that I should bring up next. You have to be willing to put your product or service in front of as many people as you possibly can. Okay? Put it in front of as many people as you possibly can. After you do your market research and things of that nature. See, when you try to sell the product or service before you start the business, that's essentially you doing market research. For me, I don't see market research as just looking at a bunch of charts and analytics. I see market research as let me get in the market and see if I can sell this product or service. And the only way I can get some really good feedback is to get that product or service in front of as many people as I possibly can. And when you are selling that product or service, you don't want to sell the product or service. You want to sell the value proposition. What's the value proposition? The value proposition is what's in it for the person that's going to be consuming that product or service. Sell the end result. Sell the experience they're going to have with your product or service. For instance, if you're going to start a web design business, you don't want to just sell a website. People can go get a website anywhere. You want to sell them a promise. And that promise could be anything as, hey, our websites are going to help you increase your online presence by 20% or more. Our websites are going to help you increase your conversion rate by 20, 30% or more. You want to sell them the end result. Tell them what they're going to get by doing business with you, because people don't want to support you just to support you. People want to support you if you have something that they feel like they want or need. And that brings up my next tip. You want to focus on products that people want or need. Now, sometimes people don't know what they want and they don't know what they need, but you have to have that third eye open to see what they want or need without them even knowing what they want or need. But sometimes it's obvious what they want or need, because they'll tell you if you are willing to listen to the complaints that they have a lot of times about other people's products or services. That's another tip. If you see a bunch of people complaining about a product or a service, whether it's online or offline, that could be a telltale sign that you could bring something in that can help them improve the quality of their life experience. Offer your product or service. And don't just sell the product or service, sell the solution that it provides to the customer. You got to be creative with that. So if you hear somebody complaining about, an online store taking too long to ship a product, if you can get a product that has a similar or better quality material, your job is to make sure that you deliver it to the customer faster, because you know that they're complaining about the delivery time of the other company. If they're complaining about the quality of the product or service that the other companies have, then your job is to find a better product that has better quality than all the other companies that are selling a similar product or service. So you have to be innovative. Another thing I should have told you about in the beginning is the fact that you got to have the mindset to be an online entrepreneur. A lot of people don't understand it. I've been doing this for over a decade, and you'll be surprised that a lot of people still do not understand online business at all. People ask me all the time, what do you do? I'm like, I own a lot of online businesses. What does that mean? I own a web development company. I have a domain hosting company. I have an online school where I teach people how to master their minds and make money online. And they still look at me like, what does any of that mean? So you have to understand that the average person you talk to about an online business, the vast majority of those people aren't going to know what you're talking about unless you're talking about an e-commerce store. Everybody knows about online shopping. So if you have a website where you're selling a product like clothing, then people are more likely to understand what you're talking about. But anything outside of clothing, a lot of time people are just ignorant to what the online space actually is. So don't get discouraged when you tell somebody what you do and they don't understand it. It's just that they're not in your world. You're in your world. So you got to have the mindset to stick with it. When you don't get sales like you think you need to get in the time frame that you think you should have got them in, you got to have the mindset to keep going. A lot of people give up too quickly. I've seen so many people give up after a week, after a month, after 6 months, after a year, after 2 years, they give up. I'm from the old school where we understood that when we set out to go towards our dream, we were going to have to put forth a lot of effort, and that might mean that we went a long time without seeing the rewards. A lot of people think that because it's online business, it's supposed to be overnight business. And it can be overnight business if you have the right product that people want or need. And if you get it in front of a lot of people at a tremendous amount of speed, you got to be willing to invest time, energy, and money to do it that way. So all of those things combined, if you can do those things combined, you might be able to stand the test of time and be an online entrepreneur like myself. But if you are not willing to do any of that, you're simply going to fail. And that's the reality of it. I want to keep this video short, but I will be back to give you more tips on what you can do to go from your corporate job to an online business. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so you can be notified when I release the next video that's going to go deeper into this subject. It's Robbie Cornelius. Master your mind and learn to make some money online.